have any requests today for your physical practice? Anything going on in your bodies? Lower back feels like tight. Yeah. Chest. Okay. Okay. And let's just kind of do another go around, and you can say your names again and tell me like one fun thing you did this weekend.
My name is Ryan, and I don't really do anything fun. I guess I slept a lot, so that was sleeping fun. Yeah.
I'm Jalen, and I want to follow him.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Did you have to wear masks the whole time?
Yeah.
How did you do?
I slept, so.
But it was still
It
fun.
was still fun, yeah.
My name's Walker. I had practice. I guess it's fun. That'd be much fun.
What sport do you play in?
Soccer.
Denzel, and I just played Xbox.
All right, nice.
Ray, I really just stayed in the room, was good. Dylan, I just did homework, honor stuff.
What was the second name?
Honor, I did like some community service work, I'm like planning a trivia night this weekend.
Awesome.
More work than I thought it'd be.
Event planning, yeah.
I'm Jared, and I drove you all for the first time. At
Nice.
the couch.
How'd that go?
It was okay whenever it wasn't pouring down rain.
Yeah. It was raining, wasn't it?
Adam, and I enjoyed Thanksgiving this weekend.
Oh, you're Canadian.
Canadian,
That's
Thanksgiving,
right.
yeah.
Cool. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. My name's Trevor, and I help some of my family who do the house.
Nice. Good job. So I'm recording this class so you can watch it back, or if you want to make up a class. How are your mindfulness journals going? Is that clear? Do you understand that assignment? The journals.
How often are we supposed to write one?
So for every class we have. So this will be your third today. And maybe I'll just like post an announcement to Moodle and just kind of have like a specific assignment like clearly laid out. And yeah,
I thought we didn't have class
today
Thursday.
we didn't, but you're supposed to do a makeup class. Like, well, you're supposed to watch a class and do a meditation. Did you see that on Moodle? Okay, well you can do it later on. Yeah, and did everyone do a little meditation? How did that go? Guided meditation? Did you listen to something?
It was crazy.
Crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was sitting on my couch, and then I started it, and then whenever it ended, my cat was in my lap, and I didn't even know it.
Oh, you're like in the zone.
Yeah.
That's
It
awesome.
was crazy.
Cool. So you think like meditation is like really hard, which it is, it can be, or like it's not for you. Guided meditations are really nice, like kind of like gateway entry into like the world of meditation. If you think or if it's scary or overwhelming, just like sit down and get quiet and breathe and try to quiet your thoughts. Guided meditation is really nice for that. So yeah, you should have an entry from Thursday's class. And just like a paragraph, half a page, just reflecting and noting how your practice went today. And this is just supposed to cultivate mindfulness. So like presence, maybe paying attention a little bit more than you might otherwise. So yeah, that's that. Any other questions about semester or anything? Yoga? Good. Cool. All right, so let's start in a seated position. So come into a comfortable cross-legged pose. Good. And then place your hands on your knees and just shift a little side to side. So if this is really comfortable, if your knees are up here, you can always extend your legs straight. That might feel a little bit better. Good. Just shifting a little back and forth. And then come to center and just shift a little forward and back. Good. Just kind of feeling into your sitting bones. And then start to make a couple circles here. Gentle circles. You can kind of bend, straighten your arms, move forward, side around. And then switch other direction. Good. And then come back to center as you sit nice and tall. Take a deep breath in and squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears. And then exhale, let your shoulders drop down. Good. Inhale, shoulders squeeze. exhale, shoulders drop. One more time, inhale, shoulders squeeze. Now circle your shoulders back, down, and around. So nice big circles, up, back, and around, and up, back, and around. Give your shoulders a little shake, shake, shake. And now see if you can get your spine really long here. So you might kind of shift your shoulders back a little over your hips, ground into your legs or feet, and then let your hands rest, maybe palms facing down on your knees or your thighs. Shoulders draw down, and then you close your eyes. So this beginning part of class we call the centering. So allowing yourself to really center and shift into the space. Breathing in and letting go. Full breath in. Full breath out. Let yourself kind of settle, checking in. And then see if you can keep your mouth closed for this whole practice and breathe in and out of the nose. Really starting to deepen the breath, starting to control the breath here. It might even feel good to place your hands down on your belly and then breathe into your hands. Inhale and exhale. So let your breath feel really deep. Inhale and exhale. And just kind of scan your body here and notice if there's any place that feels tight, sore, maybe calling your attention, just paying attention and noticing. Breathing in, and letting go. One more deep breath here. And now bring your hands together in front of your heart, let your palms touch. And here I invite you to set an intention for your practice. So choosing a word to focus on or a phrase, maybe a word like strength or balance or peace or presence. So kind of what you want to cultivate in your body or on your mat today. Breathing in and letting go. And press your palms together and stretch your arms up. And then reach your arms out and down by your sides. Good, uncross your legs and place your feet down on the mat and just sway your knees a little side to side, kind of a little swish, sway, tuning in and listening to how the body feels right now. Good, come center, cross your legs again. Sitting tall, let your arms come down, and then inhale, stretch your arms out to the sides and front. And then exhale, float your arms out and down. So connecting the breath and movement. Inhale. Awesome. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And now keep your left arm up, bring your right hand down beside you, and then side bend. Good. Maybe you're going to pull your top shoulder back, really reach and lengthen for your side there. Good. And then come back up and turn to the right and twist. Inhale, lift tall, and exhale, twist. Good. Come back to center, facing forward. Let your hands come onto your knees and round your spine back, shift back. Lift center and then arch your spine, arch your back, shift forward. Good. Come back to center, arms down by your sides again. Good. Inhale, sweep your arms up. And then exhale, left hand down, right arm stretches up and over. So notice that you're kind of bowing forward, so you can kind of peel your top shoulder back, and you look up. Good, breathe. And slowly lift back up and twist to the left. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, twist. One more. Good, come back to center. From here, swing your legs around behind you. And we'll press back into child's pose at the back of the mat. So bring your big toes together, your knees wide. Hips to your heels, stretch your arms forward in front of you. So you can let your forehead touch the mat here. Good. And as you land in your child's pose, it might feel good to rock your hips a little side to side. Maybe rock your forehead a little back and forth. And see if you can feel a stretch along the back through the spine. Maybe your shoulders kind of feel a little bit of a stretch here. Breathing in and then letting go. So just remember that any kind of practice today, you can pause, take a break, rest in triangle pose, lie on your back in Shavasana. So whatever feels best for your body, you can take things out, you can add things on. So just allowing this practice in whatever way it is to work for you. Bring your hips back a little further, stretch your arms out in front of you a little bit more. Good, now lift up onto your fingertips and walk yourself off to the right. So you can bring your hands off the mat and see if you can feel a stretch in the left there, maybe the low back on the left side. Good, keep breathing, and then lift your fingertips, lift your gaze, walk your way to center, and then over to the left. Feel a stretch to that right side there. Good, up on your fingertips, lift your gaze and walk your way back to center. Good, now inhale, peel yourself up into tabletop position on all fours. So look down at your hands, spread your fingers nice and wide. Good, now stretch your right leg back behind you. Keep your toes tucked, and it might feel good to kind of shift a little forward and back here. Good. Yeah, kind of feel a stretch in your calf, and then stretch your left leg back, tuck your toes, and then shift a little forward and back. Good. And then tabletop position on all fours. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. Tuck your toes, and then pick your shoulders up towards the ceiling. Kind of shrug your shoulders up, and then peel your shoulders back and down. Shift forward, lift your hips, cow pose. So think about arching your spine. Good. Now round your spine, puff your shoulders up, point your toes, chin to chest, round, round, round. Low belly in cat. Good. Now inhale for cow. Tuck your toes and arch your spine. Slide your shoulders down, maybe gaze forward. Good. Point your toes and round your spine. Cat. One more time. Inhaling cow. Look forward. Good. Exhale cat. Round, round, round. Come to neutral, flat back, tabletop position, and just shake your hips a little side to side, back and forth. Good, and now circle your hips back towards your heels, to the side, and then forward and around. So nice big circles here for your hips. Warming up your ribs, your shoulders, big circles. Good, and then switch to circle the other direction. Warming everything up. Good, and then come back to center, tabletop position. Really spread your fingers wide, press down into your knuckles, make a big hand. Now tuck your toes and lift your hips to downward facing dog. Hips lift up and back. Really press the floor away. Look back between your knees. Good, and then lift your heels nice and high. Good, and then drop your heels towards the mat. Good, lift high onto your right tippy toes, bend your left knee. Good, and then switch, lower your right heel, left knee bend. So you're lifting and lowering your heels, coming onto opposite toes, pedaling out your feet. If this is too much, you can just stay in table. Good, now settle back in your downward dog, exhale. Inhale forward to plank pose. Nice high plank position, one strong straight line. Press the floor away. Good, lift your hips up and back, down dog. Again, lifting high into your toes, round your spine forward, plank. Now drop to your knees, come to modified plank. So make a straight line from your knees to your shoulders, look forward, and then bend your elbows to your sides, chaturanga yogi push-up. Good, then straighten. So think like a tricep push-up, shift forward, lower. And then press up one more time, a little lower. Good, lower all the way to your belly. Stretch your legs back behind you. Good, and then bring your hands by your sides, exhale, and then inhale, lift your legs, chest and hands to a hover. Good, a little strengthening for your back here, nice. And then lower down. Now bring your fingertips off the mat, come up onto your fingertips, point your elbows, and then inhale, curl up, and then exhale, twist, left shoulder, left ear, drop to the mat. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist, right shoulder, right ear. Inhale, lift. And exhale, twist. Good. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Come back to center, lift, lift, lift. And lower all the way down. Put your hands by your sides, tuck your toes. Now from here, you can press to all fours or see if you can reverse push up into chaturanga, elbows bent. Good. Then straighten your arms to plank. And then lift your hips, down dog. Breathe in.
And full breath out. Good. Come up onto your toes, bend your knees. Now walk your feet forward to the top of the space. Good. Bend your knees and let your upper body hang. You sway a little bit. Good. Now release your arms with your knees bent. Slowly roll your spine up to stand. And as you come up, show your shoulders up, back, and around. Up, back, and around. One more time, up, back, and around. Give everything a nice big shake. Shake out your hands and your wrists and your shoulders. Kind of let your shoulders shrug and bob. Good. Just kind of moving energy, waking up. Yeah. And then see if you can like lift and lower your heels. Kind of bob your heels. Good. Give everything a little shake and then kind of shake out one leg. Really shake, 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 shake. And then shake out the other leg. Shake, shake, shake. And then kind of shake everything up. Good. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake, 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 shake. Get really loose here. Good. And then just pause and notice what your feet are doing. See if you can bring your feet kind of parallel and face forward. So naturally, some of us are more externally rotated or internally. And see if you can really ground into the bottoms of your feet. Throw your shoulders back, your chest. Good. Now inhale, sweep your arms out to the sides and up. And then exhale, lower your right hand down, bring onto your hips, stretch your left arm up and over, a couple little circles with that top wrist. Circle, circle, keep breathing. Good, rise back up to center, arms stretch high. And other side, bring your left hand onto your waist. Right arm goes up and over, kind of pull that top shoulder back, and circle your wrist a little bit. Nice. Good, back up to center. Good, bring your feet together, bend your knees, place your hands on your knees, and make some circles here. Like this. One circle, and circles, and I'll kind of wake up and warm up all the joints in the body. And then switch other direction. Good, and then come to stand. Step your feet wide toward the edges of the mat and start to make some circles through your hips. Bring your hips forward to the side, back and around. Nice big circles here. Maybe keep your knees bent, everything soft and relaxed. Good, warming up your hips. And maybe you can feel as you shift forward or to the side or back. If your hips feel a certain way, if you think that might be you can sounds it. And then switch and go the other direction, just kind of feeling and noticing. Do you want to make sure it's turned off? Good. And then back to center, feet together. Circle your shoulders up, back and around. Up, back and around. Good, up, back and around. Shake your shoulders a little, shake, shake, shake. Good, bring your feet together and walk to the very top of your mat. Good, mountain pose. Exhale. Good, now inhale, stretch your arms out and up. And then exhale, bend your knees, forward fold, lower down, hands to the mat. Inhale, lengthen your spine, look forward. And then exhale, plant your hands down and step your feet back to plank pose. Now you can hold plank, you can come onto your knees. Whatever you want to do, lower chaturanga, your push-up, elbows squeeze in. Upward dog or cobra. Nice, downward facing dog, draw back. Good, now hold this downward dog for 2 deep breaths. In and out of the nose, mouth stays closed. Really good, see if you can press evenly the hands and the feet. Good, now lift high up onto your toes. A little bend of your knees, look forward and see if you can walk, hop, or float your feet forward to the top of the space. So come forward back into that fold. You'll look forward and lengthen your spine. And then again, fold in. Spread your arms out to the sides, rise all the way to stand. Good, and then hands come together at your heart, mountain pose. So it's called a sun salutation. It's kind of a classical warm-up exercise, or yoga practice. So we're gonna do again, different variation. So lower your arms down, exhale, and then inhale, stretch your arms out to the sides and up. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the mat. Lean in. Good, now lengthen your spine as you look forward. And this time, step your left leg back. Just your left leg. Drop your back knee down and rise up to a low lunge. Maybe circle your wrists or flick your fingers. And you really want to be connecting the breath and the movement. One more breath here. Good, now lower your hands down. Tuck your back toes and step your right leg to down dog. Shift forward to plank position. Right from here with your knees down, chaturanga, yogi push-up. Upward dog or cobra, point your toes, find your back bend. Good, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Exhale. Right leg stretches up and back. Good, now step your right foot forward between your hands. Drop your back knee down. Good, rise up, low lunge. Good, lower your hands. Step your left foot forward to fold. Look forward and lengthen your spine. Good, now step your right leg back. Drop your back knee down and rise up, low lunge. Good, now if you can shift forward a lot, see if you can come back out of it a little bit. Yeah, really strengthen your muscles to bones. You're sweating already? Yeah, I know, it's hot, right? Flick your fingers, roll your wrists. Good, hands to the mat, left leg back, down dog. Shift forward to plank pose. Good, now take it your way, right from here with your knees down. Yogi push-up, chaturanga. Good, upward dog. And then just press back to your heels and pause here. So does that chaturanga make sense? It's kind of one of like the hardest poses in yoga. So if you think about like a regular push-up, your elbows go wide, right? Like if I was like, everyone, 10 push-ups now, go. Do it. Do like 3 push-ups, everyone. And not like any way I've told you, but just like do push-ups the way you might naturally do it. Yeah, nice, okay. Cool, and then sit back on your feet. So some of you are doing it like that, that's awesome. So I think of like gym or like fitness push-ups like this, right? You can do all sorts of push-ups. In yoga, we want to think like elbows squeezing in. So everyone bring your hands out like this and like squeeze in. Yeah. And then bring one hand kind of underneath your armpit and down, and bring your arm forward and then kind of pull it back. Do you feel that muscle down there underneath your armpit? Kind of like a little chicken wing, kind of forward and back. Do you feel it? So that's called your lat, right? You really want to turn those on. Maybe the other one. Do you guys feel that? Like forward and squeeze. Do you feel it? Yeah. Cool. So that's what we want to think about, kind of pulling back and down. So I like to do chaturanga from my knees. But a lot of you are super strong, so you can do it from plank. So it's either from plank or modified on your knees, like hugging in, chest forward, gaze forward, and then squeezing like this. Does that make more sense? Okay, let's all try it together. So either in plank pose or with your knees down, modified plank, squeeze in chaturanga. Good, come all the way to the belly. That looks great, everyone. Upward dog, downward face. Lift your right leg up and back. And then step it forward, drop your back knee down. Rise up, low lunge. Roll your wrists, flick your fingers. And then lower your hands down, tuck your back toe, step your left foot forward. Good, heel toe your feet open towards the edges of the mat, bend your knees and come down into a squat pose. Good, Malasana, heels in, toes out, see if you can bring your feet wide toward the edges of the mat, and then see if you can even drop your heels down. Maybe hands at the heart, good. Maybe elbows kind of press the knees open. So from here, I think a lot of you can probably do this. You're gonna bring your hands down to the mat. So you can just stay here, totally optional, or play with an arm balance. So this is called crow pose. So hands come down, bring your knees behind your triceps, spread your fingers wide, and then shift forward, tilt forward, and then see if you can lift your feet up off the mat. And maybe hug them up towards your bum. Yeah, that's it. Good, shift forward. You can do it, try it. Shift forward, plank, maybe one foot, maybe the other. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Dylan. Good, and then drop your heels down. Everyone come back to that squat. Stretch your arms forward, and then rise up to stand. Stretch your arms high, and then reach your arms out and down. And then sway your arms like this. And then lift your right leg up and just kind of swing your leg a little bit. Like you're gonna get ready for a run. So just trying to get the body loose, moving energy, waking up, strengthening a little bit. And then switch other leg, just kind of sway, sway, sway. Good, and then put that foot down. Bring your feet about hip width distance apart, so you can kind of measure that like 2 fists between your feet. Good, then from here, kind of bend your knees and squat down, and then stand up. And look at what your knees are doing. Notice if they like go out or buckle in, and see if you can kind of keep your knees tracking forward. Good, really send your hips back. Good, keep going. Good, now hold it low here and shift your weight over to the left foot. Lift your right leg up to the side. Good, and then lower, sit down, stand up, squat down, stand up, squat down, weight to the right, lift your left leg kind of up and out to the side. Good, maybe lift your chest a little, good. Left foot down, squat down, stand up. Good, and then just stand, hold for a moment, breathe in, and exhale. Bring your feet together, bend your knees, sit your seat low, stretch your arms high, chair pose with your Utkatasana good. Good, so reach your arms up, look up, hips go back a little further, maybe squeeze your knees together. Good, and then hands to the mat, forward fold. Bring your hands to your shins, look forward and lengthen your spine. Good, now plant your hands down and step it back to plank pose. Good, so I'm gonna watch all your chaturanga. So super strong on your knees, right from here, look forward, elbow squeeze, chaturanga. Yeah, awesome. Upward dog or cobra, take your back bend. Nice, downward facing dog. Stretch your right leg up and back behind you. Good, now you're gonna step that right foot forward and then spin your back foot in. So turn your back foot down and then reach your arms up. Nice deep bend of your front knee. Maybe roll your wrists a little bit again. This is called Warrior One. Lower your hands down. Good, now from here, lift your back heel and kind of straighten your legs, shift your hip back, hips back. And then bend into your front knee as you shift forward. Shift back and shift forward. Plant your hands, down dog. Good, stretch your left leg up and back behind you, nice and high. Good, and then step your left foot forward, spin your back heel down. Good, rise up, Warrior One. Hips square forward, arms stretch high. Nice, bend your front knee. Drop your shoulders down, nice and strong here. So arms high, but shoulders down. Good. And then hands come down to frame your front foot. Lift your back, heel up. Good. And then straighten your legs as you shift your hips back. Good. Bend into your front knee as you shift your hips forward. Good. Shift a little back. Shift a little forward. Hold it forward. Plant your hands down and step your right leg back to downward facing dog. Option to take a vinyasa here. So that means come to plank. And then bend your elbows, yogi push-up, chaturanga, nice and narrow, good, upward dog, downward facing. Make sure you keep spreading your fingers wide, nice big palms. Good, and think here in your downward dog, muscles hugging to bones. We're not just kind of like hanging out in our joints, but really wrap your muscles around your bones. One more breath. Good, now lift up onto your toes, a little bend of your knees, look forward and walk your feet to the front of your space. Fold forward. Good, bend your knees, chair pose, sit low, stretch high, really send your seat back, lift. Good, now see if you can lift your heels up, balance in your chair pose, maybe seat comes down a little more. Now see if you can slowly start to straighten your legs, keep your heels high, reach your arms up, lift, 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 lift. Good, and lower your heels, lower your hands. So sweaty, huh? We have some fans if you want. Good. Lower your arms, step your feet apart, and just kind of twist a little side to side. Yeah, twist, 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 waking up your weights. I'll just do a couple more standing postures, some standing sequences. So here, as we're standing, let's go into some balance poses. So shift your weight to your right foot, lift your left foot up. And then slowly bring that foot into tree pose. Good, so you can come against a wall for a little extra support if you have something nearby. Yeah, use the bar. Good, and then press your foot into your leg into your foot. Good, and see if you can hold your balance, nice. Yeah, keep holding with your chest. Good, and then maybe you stretch your arms straight up. Or maybe you reach your arms out. Good, breathe. Good, and then bring your hands back down, bring your leg forward, maybe straighten it a little bit, lift. Good, and then let that leg kind of swing. Good, and then just ground your foot down. It's called mountain pose, so pause here, inhale. And exhale. Good, other side, ground to the right foot. Left foot comes to tree, so you can just bring your ankle up, keep your toes on the mat, and go foot to calf, foot to thigh. So really press your leg into your foot and your foot into your leg. So feel that kind of like pressing together actively. Nice. And then maybe you stretch your arms high. Good, maybe reach your arms out. Maybe you look out or sway a little bit. Hands come back together, lower them down. Bring your legs forward, straight. And let it swing a little bit, swing. Good. And then back on your mat, kind of ground here. Drop your heels up and down. Rounding into the soles of the feet, little bum, bum, bum. Good, pause. Now bring your right hand out by your hip. And then reach back to grab your foot. Now kind of like pull your hip forward so your right knee is in line with your left and feel a stretch in the front of that leg. Do you guys feel that stretch? Top of the quad. Good, so you can hold here or reach to grab your right heel. And inside the foot, stretch your left arm forward. And then see if you can kick your leg back and reach your arm forward. Kick, reach, lift. Good, this is called dancer pose. Reach, 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 reach. And then lower back. Mountain pose. Good. Bob your heels or shake it out. And then pause. Breathe in. Exhale. Good. Bend your left knee, reach back, grab your foot. You can kind of pull your knee back or kind of draw it forward. Kind of feel that hip coming forward. Feel stretch in the front of the thigh. Can you feel that stretch there? Good. You can use the wall too, if you need. Good, now option to hold it here, grab the inside the heel, stretch your right arm up, and then kick your leg back. Kick your leg back, stretch your arms forward, forward and back, kick, 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 kick. And let it go, mountain pose. Breathe in. Exhale. Good, stretch your arms out to the T. And then cross your right elbow underneath your left. Circle around the forearms and the wrists. You can get your palms to touch. Now, if you have like really big muscles in your arms and you're like, they won't go, just cross your elbows and have hands on opposite shoulders. Good. And then lift your elbows up and then drop your shoulders down. Maybe try that one more time. So lift and lower, lift and lower. Now bring your feet together, bend your knees, sit low, stretch your right leg up, and then cross it on top of the left. Maybe you can hook your right toes behind your left calf. Yeah, so this is called eagle pose, Garudasana. Sit down, sit low, nice. Good, and then rise back up, uncross your legs, open your arms back up, and then switch. Left elbow underneath the right. You kind of go opposite shoulders, or double wrap wrists, hands, palms. Good, then lift your elbows up, and drop your shoulders down. Lift, and then lower. Lift up. Lower down. Good. Bend your knees, sit down. And then see if you can lift your left leg up high. Cross it on top of the right. You can rack your left toes behind your right calf. And align your elbows and knees together. Good. Sit low. Keep the elbows and knees kind of round in. Breathing. Good. And then rise up. Uncross your legs. Open your arms. Good, let your arms come down. You're just gonna cross your arms over your chest. Then on top of the other, just swoosh and sway. You're gonna let your arms kind of sway, swing, circle. Shake it out a little bit. And then pause in your mountain pose. Look at your feet, make sure your feet face forward. And then just rest one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, lift tall through your spine. Breathe in. Breathe out. Full breath in. Full breath out. Lower your arms down. Now inhale, sweep your arms up. And then exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees. And let your spine really fall down here. Maybe you grab behind your calves, your ankles. Good, then bring your hands on the mat in front of you. Lengthen, look forward. Plant your hands and step your feet back, plank. Good, hold your plank and twist your hips a little here, side to side. Twist, twist, twist. Now with the knees down or right from plank, shift forward as you bend your elbows, chaturanga. All the way to the floor. Stretch your arms back behind you, and then lift your chest up, your legs up. Lower all the way down. Bring your hands by your side, press to table, and then back to child's pose. Feet together, knees wide, arms stretch out in front of you. Maybe you rock a little here, side to side. And then from here, rise up and circle your hips forward to the right and the left. Circle back left and right, and then switch. Circle forward left, right, back right, left. Come table, center at table pose. Good, now lift your right leg back behind you. Round and curl, bring your knee to your chest. And then send that leg back. 2 more times, round and curl, knee to chest. Send it back. 1 more time, knee to chest. And then step your right foot forward. Drop your back knee, pull through low lunge. Good, now walk your hands back with your chest. Reach your arms out to the sides. Good, and then bring your right hand down. Reach your left arm up and over. Yeah, and then back up. And then left arm down, right arm goes up and over. Back up. Arms stretch high. Good, lower your hands down. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up. And then rise up to a high lunge. Good, back heel is up. Front knee is bent nice and deep. Good, open to the side of the mat for warrior 2. So you're facing the concrete wall. Nice deep bend of your front knee. Front toes face forward. So right toes face the front mirror. Shoulders drop down. Good, now straighten your arms and your legs. Inhale. Exhale, bend and extend down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower. 1 more, rise up. Lower down, hold, warrior 2. Reverse your warrior, take it back. Rise up to warrior 2. Shift forward, extended side angle. Right forearm to thigh, left arm up and over. Good, rise to warrior 2. Now bend into your left knee, back of the mat, squat low, skandasana. Left knee bends, right leg extends. Good, then re-bend into your front knee, face the top of the mat, hands come down. Good, step your right leg back to down dog. Hold your down dog or take a vinyasa, shift forward, chaturanga. Upward dog, downward face. Good, come back to tabletop position on all 4s. Pause here. Stretch your left leg back. And then pull your knee to your chest. Leg extends back. Knee to chest. 1 more time, leg extends back. Now step your left foot forward. Good. Pull your front knee forward. Kind of walk your hands forward, stretch. Good. And then walk your hands back and up lift. Good. Sweep your arms out to the sides and then all the way up. And then again, left hand comes towards the side. Reach your right arm up and over. Good. Back to center, right hand down, left arm up and over. Back to center, hands at the heart, pause. Good, hands to the mat, pause. Tuck your back toes, lift the back knee up. And then rise all the way to crescent lunge. Back heel is lifted, front knee is bent. And then open to the side. Arms stretch out wide. So you're facing the chalkboard wall. Left knee is bent over the middle of that foot. Right toes face the side, arms stretch out wide. Good, now straighten your arms and your legs. Rise up. Exhale, bend and lower down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower down. 1 more time, arms and legs straighten. Lower and hold. Now reverse it, take it back. Right hand down the back leg, left arm goes up and over. Rise back up. Extended side angle, left forearm to thigh, right arm goes up or over. Nice long side body stretch. Good, rise back up. Squat to the back of the mat, bend into your right knee. The left leg extend. Nice deep stretch. Maybe forearms come down here. Good. Shift forward. Bend into your front knee. Hands come down. Left foot steps back. Plank. Drop to your knees. Table. Shift your hips back to your heels. Keep your toes tucked. And then shift your hips forward. Knees down. Chest forward. Elbows squeeze. Chaturanga. Straighten your arms. And then press your hips back. And come to sit on your heels. Good. Lift tall through your spine. Hands can rest on your lap. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Sit to one side of your hips and swing your legs around in front of you. Give your legs a little bit of a shake, 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 and a wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Kind of point and flex your feet. Good, now sitting nice and tall, reach your arms out wide, and then twist to the right. Keep your chest lifted. Good, and then come center, look tall, twist to the left. Come center, twist to the right, and then see if you can bring your left pinky finger towards your right pinky toe. Lower down in your twist. Good, lift up. Center, and then right pinky finger to left pinky toe. Lift, center. Bring your hands behind your back. Palms down, fingers forward. Bend your knees, plant your feet down. And again, just gonna sway your knees side to side. Good, come center, press into your feet, your hands, lift your hips for a reverse table. And then lower your hips back down. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let your knees drop open. And kind of bring your hips away from your heels. So your legs kind of make a shape like a diamond position. Lift up tall, and then fold in. Let your hands come inside the feet. Maybe let your head drop. Maybe you sway a little here, side to side. Good, so we're gonna hold this pose. Let your eyes close and let your body soften. If this doesn't feel good for you for any reason, you can just lift your spine and keep your shoulders over your hips, and then keep your knees dropping open. So pause here and hold.
And notice if the pose kind of changes as you hold. Notice sensation maybe in the back, in the hips, and the thighs. And then see if you can let your body get really soft here, still and quiet. Relax your jaw. Take your last few breaths here. And notice as you hold, as you've been in this position for many breaths, you feel a little more calm, relaxed, connected. Breathe in and exhale. And now slowly rise up, lift your chest. Good, circle your shoulders up, back, and around. Now keeping your knees open and your feet together, let your chin drop to your chest. Roll your head towards your right shoulder. And then let your chin drop to your chest, move your head over to the left. So just do that a couple times, some little half pendulum swings. Opening the neck there a little. Maybe you circle your head all the way around, back and down. And then switch directions. Come back to center, pause. Bring your hands to the outside of the knees, draw your legs together.
Bend your knees and place your feet down, hands behind your back. You're just gonna lean back and you come to your forearms even, and again, just kind of sway. So opening through your side body. Good. And then find center, press back into your hands. And then again, option for a reverse table, lift up. And then lower down. Swing your legs around behind you, tabletop position. Good, bring your fingers back towards your knees, palms up. And then see if you can bring your whole palm down to the floor. And notice if you kind of hyperextend, so you can keep a little bend of the elbows. Good. Maybe shift a little forward and back, little stretch in the wrists. Does that feel so good? Forearms. Good, and then bring your palms to face one another, fingers point out to the sides, shoulders right over your wrists, shift a little side to side here. Good. Then bring the backs, the hands down, palms up, fingers point back towards your knees. Squeeze your hands into a tight fist, and then release. Squeeze and release, yeah, just like that, squeeze, release. Good, and then release your hands back down, fingers spread wide. Lift your right leg up and down. And then step your right foot forward. Good, so we'll stay low here, nice deep bend of your front knee. And now again, shift your hips back. And shift forward. Shift back and hold it back to get into that nice deep stretch there. So you can kind of curl your toes back towards your face. If you're really tight, you can also come up here and maybe turn your toes out, point your toes in, really flex your foot and point. Yeah, so you guys were super tight. Does it feel a little better to be higher up? Yeah. And then some of you maybe want to slide into a full split stretch, right leg forward, left leg all the way back, or not. Yeah. And come back up, went all the way down. Good, and then shift forward, heel toe your right foot to the right, bring both hands down inside the mat. Good. Yeah, and then here, option to press your right hand inside the right thigh, kind of twist open. Nice. Maybe hands kind of lower down. Maybe you can even come onto your forearms here. We'll stretching that right hip, maybe the front of the left hip too. And then from here, you're gonna bring your left forearm down and just roll onto the outside of that left hip. Come on your side, and then bring your right leg on top of your left leg. So bring your butt towards the back of the mat and your feet towards the front, and then like press into that left forearm, lift up here. Good, now see if you can lift your right leg and lower it. Do a little lift. Is that hard? Oh, that was a yawn. You just made a really funny face. Okay, you're yawning, gotcha. Good, so see if you can just lift it a little bit, maybe right hand onto your hip so the feel where that work is happening. Press into your left forearm. Good, now from here, go heel to heel, toe to toe. Go heel to heel, toe to toe, one more, heel, toe. Hold your leg lifting a little bit there, and then swing your leg back, and swing it forward. Good, swing it back. Forward, keep it hovering, back, forward. Now, see if you can hold that right leg up and lift your left leg up to meet your right. Ooh, hard, right? And then bring your legs to the back of the mat. Good, come down on your belly and stack your forearms one on top of each other. Let your forehead rest. Good, shake your hips out a little bit. You can bend your knees and windshield wiper your feet side to side. Good, now from here, extend your legs long, and then press your forehead into your hands, and lift your hands and your head up off the mat. Keep your feet pressing down. Good, lift your head and your forearms. And then lower, keep your forehead and your forearms down, lift your legs up. Good, lower your legs, lift your forehead, your forearms, and your legs. Lift everything up, lower everything down. Bring your forearms down in front of you, so kind of prop up onto your elbows. Good, now bring your right heel in, go pull, pull, and then extend. Left leg, go kick, kick, and then reach it. Kick, kick, reach, kick, kick, and reach. See if you can lift both legs up. And then do kind of like a little hamstring curl. Feet in, extend, squeeze, and release. Good, lower to your belly. Open your arms out to a T. Let your left ear rest and just kind of shake it out. Shake out your hips, release your back here. Good. Now, it might even feel good to bring your hands onto your low back, almost like the top of your butt. Give yourself a little massage there. Good. Maybe a couple little like punches outside the hips. Maybe you can kind of think about pressing your hips down towards your heels, so lengthening your spine. Good. And then bring your gaze forward, hands by your side, and press up to a tabletop position. Move your hips from side to side. Sway your shoulders. Good. And then pause in the middle. Take a full breath in. And a big exhale. Stretch your left leg back behind you. And then bring it forward. Good. Walk your hands forward, bend into your front knee. Good. Low lunge position. Good. And then shift your hips back, straighten your front leg. Think left heel towards your right knee, and you walk yourself up, hand on top of that thigh. Good. So pull left heel towards your right knee. Maybe kind of bow your chest down, kind of fingertips down, or if you're tighter, you might want to be up like this. But if you have the flexibility, it might feel good to turn your toes out, kind of explore that range of motion. Point your toes in, flex your toes back towards your face, point your toes forward. Maybe you slide into your full split stretch if that's available in your body. Lower down. Oh, look at you, cheerleader. Yeah, is that side better than your other side? You can do both. Can you do like the side, like straddle? Have you been cheerleading a long time? Like 14 years. So yeah. Good. Come back into your half split. Good. And then bend into your front knee, shift forward. Good. Walk your left foot to the left side of the mat. Bring your hands down. Good. And just move a little here side to side. Maybe press your left hand inside your thigh and open. Get a little bit of a twist, might feel good. Good. Now see if you can come onto your forearms. And then you're just going to roll onto the outside of the right hip. Bring your left leg to the back of the mat. So bring your back to the back of the mat and bring your feet forward. And then really press into your right forearm. Bring your left hand kind of underneath your body and see if you can kind of grab your lat. So you're not just like relaxing, you're kind of pressing up. Does that make sense? Good. That left hand can be anchored in front of you with your left leg up. And then lower it a couple times. A little smaller, maybe not more than like a foot. And see if you can really feel that work happening in the outer hip. Strength there. Good. Hold the leg lifted. Now open your foot, go heel to heel, toe to toe. So think external, internal, out, in, out, in, out, heel to heel, little clicks, little circles. Go circle, 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 and then switch. Go circle, circle, circle. Bring that left leg parallel. Good. Now kick it forward and kick it back. Kind of doing a sway. Kick it forward, kick it back. So you can keep your torso steady here. Good. Bring your left leg on top of your right. Now see if you can bring your right leg up to meet your left. And bring your feet to the back of the mat. And then come down on your belly. Stack your hands one on top of the other, forearms out, forehead down. Shake your hips out. Bend your knees and windshield wiper your feet side to side. Now from here, bring your gaze forward, bring your forearms down in front of you. Good, Sphinx pose. And then bend your right knee and see if you can reach back to grab your foot. Maybe kind of turn your fingers down, lifting the top of the foot down, or maybe kind of kick your foot into your hand. Feel stretch in the top of that leg. Good. And you might be able to bring your other foot towards the floor. Good. And then release, stretch it back. Pause at center and then other side. Bend your knee, reach back, grab your foot. See if you can pull your heel toward your seat. Maybe spin your hand down, heel the hand on the top of the foot. Next, yeah. And then release it. Lower all the way to your belly. Again, shake it out. Slide your hands down by your sides, kind of by your chest. Turn on the mat forward. And then inhale, lift your chest and lift your hands. So really feel strength in your low back or your whole back. And then lower. Good. Tuck your toes. Press up to table. And then back. Swing your legs around to high seat. Good. Extend your legs out. Give them a little shake, shake, shake. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then place your feet on the mat. Bend your knees. Hands behind you. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh and flex your foot. Good. Now here, might feel good once again to shift side to side. If you're really flexible, you can bring your right shin down and cross shin on top of shin. Think left ankle over the right knee, left knee over your right ankle. So this is called like figure 4 or fire log. Do you feel a stretch there? Bring your bottom leg a little farther forward. So they're kind of like two, like, yeah. And then you want to work that knee down. Good. So that's kind of the hardest variation. So most of us are not there. So other option, you can stay here or come down, maybe scoot forward, come onto your back and grab behind your right thigh for a nice stretch there. Now feel that stretch in the outer left hip, really flex your left toes. You can even bend your right knee and grab the front of the shin. How does that feel, everyone? You feeling something? Good. Good. Nice. And how does that feel for you? Do you do gymnastics too?
I used to.
Yeah. Does the cheer team do gymnastics stuff?
Just a lot of stretching. So.
Yeah. So how old were you when you started? You were like 4.
4
That's awesome. And you still like it? For the most part. One more step here. And then if you're on your back, uncross your legs, place both feet down, sway your knees side to side. Yeah. And then come back up to seated. Everyone place the feet down, knees bent. And as you sway side to side, you might even kind of lift one arm up. Side, and then back in, and switch this way. Good. And then back to center, across your right ankle, over your left thigh, flex your foot. No, that's the one we just did, right? Or did we do left? Okay, so right there. Okay, flex your foot, open through your chest, you can kind of walk your hands in. And then whatever you do on the other side, do on this side, come onto your back, grab behind your left thigh or on the top of the left shin. Really flex your right foot. And think about drawing your knee kind of away from you. Good. Yeah, or then maybe right shin on top of left shin, flex your feet. Good, so make sure that bottom foot is flexed too. Think about maybe kind of drawing your knee down. Breathe deeply here. Just gonna notice and feel sensation. Inhale. Exhale. Two more really deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. And then if you're on your back, just stay on your back, uncross your legs, place your feet down, sway your knees. Then everyone uncross your legs and come to lie down. Good, let your knees drop from side to side. You find a little release in the low back. Good, then bend your knees and hug them into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze off side to side. And then bend your knees and place your feet down on the floor. Let your arms come along by your sides. And then lift your hips up for bridge pose. Squeeze your glutes a little, press up, lift. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, lower your hips back down. Walk your feet toward the edges of the mat and drop your knees in towards one another. So internal rotation, think knock knee position. Breathe in. Exhale. Walk your feet back in again so they're right underneath your knees. One more bridge pose. Lift your hips. Maybe you could bring your hands together behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades. And then slowly lower. Knees brought into your chest. Walk side to side. Now drop your knees over to the right. Open your arms to a T and release the left.
twist. Spinal twist, belly twist here, opening your chest. Creating length and space along the back. And then slowly come back to center. Hug the knees and give yourself a squeeze, rock side to side. And then drop your hips to the left. Arms into a T, gaze to the right, twist. Open through your chest, relax your face. Slowly come back to center, knees drawn into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. And then release your legs all the way down to the mat. Arms go long, legs go down, palms up. Final Shavasana, relaxation pose. So at this time, there's nothing to do but just rest. And if it's not comfortable to have legs extended straight, you can bend your knees and place your feet down. You let one hand come to your chest, one hand come to your belly. And then let your eyes close and let your body soften. Breathe in, exhale. Full breath in, complete breath out. And just think about if there's anything that might distract you from your relaxation here. If there's anything that's kind of stealing your attention, and see if you can bring all of your energy right back into the body, to presence. Allow the skin to soften off the muscles. The muscles soften off the bones. Just let your bones get heavy. Shavasana, deep rest.
Continue to let your body rest here. You're focused on your body, really feel heavy and soft. Mind is let go.
From here, slowly take the time to notice and feel. Breathe deeply and feel into any differences between how you felt when we first began and how you feel now. Breathe in and let go. Notice the quality of the mind, the body, your emotional state. And slowly begin to wiggle your fingers, to wiggle your toes, roll out your ankles and your wrists, turn your head side to side. And then stretch your arms up and your feet down, lengthen your body from the top to the bottom, stretch. And then bend your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze, rock a little here, side to side. And then roll to your right side and pause. You can make a pillow with your arm. Just kind of rest in this kind of fetal position here. And then taking your time, slowly press your way up to seated. Nice and slow. Rising back up. You can keep your eyes closed or have a soft gaze on the floor. Sitting tall. Bring your hands to your heart. In the traditional way we close a yoga practice is with saying a word that just means the light in me sees and honors the light inside of you. Namaste. How do you guys feel? So, do you guys need a break? Or you just want to like go right into more stuff? Do you want to take a little break? Or you guys just, you're good? Good? Everyone, does anyone need, okay, cool. All right, so nice work. Third practice, looking good. And you guys feel any comments or reflections on how that went, how you feel, any like thing you noticed about your body, maybe something new? Maybe you're all like in a little bit of a yoga buzz, right? Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about yoga philosophy. And I thought we'd start with the 8 limbs of yoga. So all these poses and postures are called asanas. So asana just kind of means like to sit in a comfortable way, comfortable and seated position like this. And these are like 95% of like what we think yoga is, like what yoga is presented as in pop culture, right? Like if you think yoga, you think like some girl in like a crazy pose. But if you think of like there's an iceberg above like the ocean, the scope of yoga is like really deep down underneath it, or like a tree. Like this is the poses, and underneath this is crazy root and branch system. So yoga is it's kind of debated how old yoga is, but it can be traced back to like 3,000, 5,000 years ago, and it's rooted in India. And yoga is not a religion. It's just a practice and yeah, like a way of life. It kind of has like roots and origins like Hinduism and Buddhism and like a lot of different philosophy, but in like a modern context, yoga can just kind of be just like a workout you do, or kind of like a spiritual way to live your life, like guidelines. So there are 8 limbs, and we've been practicing a lot of them so far, but like I said, the main, like what we think of as yoga is the asana. So asana means posture. So that's the 3rd limb. We'll get into that, but first we'll talk about the yamas and the niyamas. And this is also great stuff for you to write about in your mindfulness journal. If you like don't have anything you can think of or really want to write about, you can use any of these to journal about. So the 8 limbs of yoga, or practice of yoga in its entirety, its whole scope. And the first limb is yama. So yama are kind of like the nose, like what we try to avoid. stopping the causes of suffering to create compassion. And there are 5 yamas. The first yama is ahimsa, which means nonviolence. So a lot of people who practice yoga are vegetarian. That's like one kind of obvious way we could practice ahimsa. So like not eating meat, because like that would harm an animal. And it's good to think about all of these principles through like a wide lens, like thought, speech, action. So ahimsa means nonviolence, and you could think about like what violence you might like inflict on yourself, like whether it's like pushing yourself until you're so tired, or maybe like in your self-talk, like, oh, why'd you do that? You're so stupid, like noticing your thoughts. So, and also like what you consume, like media, like what you watch and listen to, and all of that, how you interact with your friends. Is that like compassionate and kind, or is there like violence? And if you take an inventory of your life, you might notice that there's a lot more violence and like subtle messaging in ways that than you realize. Like listening to the news can be super violent as it is, because that's kind of our reality of how we're living right now. So thinking about how we can create more like peace and balance, and think about ahimsa, nonviolence. So the second yama is satya. So that means truthfulness. So obviously we want to think about like, you know, like in lots of religions, like, you know, tell the truth, be kind, to thine own self be true, love thy neighbor as thyself. So like truthfulness is a basic kind of principle we want to embody, right? You don't want a friend or a teacher or anyone really in your life who lies. So kind of thinking about a deep sense of truthfulness for yourself. So there could be ways you might be denying like your deepest wish, or parts of yourself that you like press down or hide away. So in a really broad lens, like what is your inner truth? Like maybe some people are like, oh, what's your favorite music? And you're like, oh, I love like hip hop and R&B, because like all your friends really like that music, but like secretly you love country music and you like don't want to share that. And that's kind of like a silly example, but like really like being full of integrity, like your deep truthfulness, kind of like owning who you are and your wants and your needs and your desires. So that's the second. So ahimsa, nonviolence; satya, truthfulness. And then the next yama is asteya, which means non-stealing. So you might think at first like, oh, like non-stealing, yeah, I don't like shoplift, I don't steal things, like I'm good on that one. But think about in ways like how you might steal, like are you someone who's always late? Because that's like stealing time. Or are you like always distracted, like on your phone or have an earbud in, and that's like stealing presence from yourself and the people you're around. So thinking about non-stealing, how can you like really give your full attention to everyone all the time, or when it's necessary? The next is brahmacharya, which means countenance or right use of sexual energy, or kind of not used to, but one way it's interpreted as like celibacy. If you are like what's called a householder, so meaning like you live in a home with a partner, with a husband or a wife, or you're like young and you're dating, like that doesn't really make sense. It's not like we're gonna like go to a cave and like meditate all day and not have relationships. But from this kind of more modern lens of yoga with brahmacharya, so like right use of sexual energy, it's like, where are you putting your energy? Like, are you talking to like 8 different guys and like leading them on? Like, do you have a committed relationship, but like you cheat on them? Do you like flirt to get like favors? Do you use your sexual energy for advantages, you know, like flirting with your boss, that kind of thing? And a good kind of rule of thumb is like, if you're in like a committed relationship, like whatever the terms of your romantic relationships might be, like, do you do anything that like not in front of your partner that you wouldn't do if your partner was there? So say like you're in a really serious relationship, but like you see someone else at work and you're like kind of flirty, like would you act that way if your partner was there, right? So just kind of having a lot of like integrity and honesty with your sex life and your sexual energy. So that's brahmacharya. And the last yama is apigraha, which means non-hoarding. So I think like sometimes our modern world encourages us to like get things, like collect. Like we want degrees and we want accolades and we want like all the like muscles and the clothes and like the followers and like the fans and you know, like it's kind of encouraged to like get the things because then you're like a real person, you know, then you're elevated, or people have more respect for you if you've accomplished these things. But you can think about like in yoga too, we like collect poses. We're like, I can do this arm balance and I can do this inversion. We're like collecting these things. But this yama kind of encourages us to release and let go of grasping or hoarding, so that we can really connect inward to our spiritual life, which is kind of the goal of all of these limbs, all of these yamas, is to create like a really authentic, true, genuine relationship with ourselves and with our society. And then for some, like to the divine, like whatever you think God is, or power of the universe, stuff like that. And a nice way to kind of practice apigraha is like, say you love shopping and you're always getting like sneakers or hats or like yoga pants and you're just like constantly shopping. So that's like your apigraha rearing its head. So go on a spending freeze, like no shopping. Or like go through your closet and be like, oh, I haven't worn any of this stuff in like 3 years, and like donate it. Or yeah, like if you're like a really active, like into power yoga yogi, you're collecting all these poses and you're like, I can do this, I can do this. Maybe you switch to like the gentle yin practice. So you can kind of take a little inventory of your life and know like, where am I like hoarding and grasping like all the A's and all the friendships, all the relationships. So that's apigraha. So that's the first limb of yoga. Yama, the restraints, kind of like the rules we want to live by. Non-violence, truthfulness, non-stealing, right use of sexual energy, and non-hoarding. So those are the yamas. And for your journal assignment for this class, you could write about one of those yamas, maybe the one that feels like you connect with most. Like maybe you're like, oh, ahimsa, that is really good. I should like watch my like hateful thoughts towards this group of people, or whatever it is. So that's one way you could, what you could do for your mindfulness journal tonight. And again, thinking about this through layers of speech, thought, and action. So I was going to do the 8 limbs, but I think I'll just do the second limb and then we'll go so you can enjoy the beautiful afternoon. The second limb is the niyamas. The niyamas are kind of like the yeses, like the things we want to do, the personal guidelines to care and growth. The 5 guidelines to our inner care. And the yamas are saucha, which means cleanliness, santosha, contentment, tapas, which means kind of like heat, fire, discipline, svadhyaya, self-study, and ishvara pranidhana, which is surrender. So the first niyama is saucha, cleanliness. So you can think about like, do I keep my body clean? And do I keep my clothes clean? And like, how's my desk? Do I have stuff all over my desk? Like, is my laundry all over the floor? You know, like, is there stuff, if I have a car, is there like crap all over my car, like garbage everywhere? And kind of doing a little like spring cleaning, a little inventory of like your whole life, like going through your drawers and organizing. Like we all have that junk drawer in our kitchen. Did you guys have that growing up? Like one drawer that's like takeout menus, napkins, chopsticks, like random utensils, rubber bands, scissors, you know, that like junk drawer where like the things that don't have a place, they all go there. So when we're practicing saucha, we want to take all that out and then throw out the stuff we don't need, clean and organize. And I also feel like there's kind of an emotional junk drawer we might have. Like we have experiences, maybe like some painful or traumatic experiences, and then we're just like, oh, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna push that down and like function and go through my life and live my life and just try to survive. But then it's like those things land in our body and those experiences are deep down. So one day you might be in yoga and you're lying and you're on the back of Shavasana and you're like, wow, my 7th grade teacher was so mean to me. Like, why were they mean to me? I was just like a regular kid. Or like, oh, I remember when my first boyfriend like stop talking to me, and just like these experiences that can kind of like land in our body. So doing like therapy or journaling or groups or meditation or getting out in nature and just like shaking and breathing are ways that we can like cleanse and purify, so that we don't have to have this like heavy stuff that holds us, that we walk around with. Like, you know, so physically kind of getting rid of stuff that we don't need, and emotionally like working through all of our stuff. And if you're a person living in the world, you probably have stuff and experiences. So it's really nice sometimes to kind of like lean back and like look and have a perspective on what our life has been like. And that kind of connects to Svadhyaya. It's not the next one in line, but the next niyama I'll just talk about means self-study. So Svadhyaya, self-study, kind of noticing and taking an inventory of who we are. You can do this, it's kind of nice at the beginning of the year, maybe like on your birthday or every quarter, at the beginning of every month. Like, what are your study habits like right now? And how are you eating? You know, like every night at like 10 o'clock, are you like, pizza time, you can order some pizza, you know, or, you know, any of your habits, any of the things you kind of just like go to. And then like your self-talk and your patterns. So whatever is going on, Svadhyaya means self-study. So just understanding who you are and why you do the things you do. Sometimes it's really helpful to look at like your ancestry and like your family of origin, and you're like, oh, my mom is really like bipolar or manic, or she was really like absent growing up. This is like an extreme example. So maybe that like can connect to why I feel like unsettled in romantic relationships. I'm just like, I can't like trust it because my like primary caregiver was maybe not emotionally available. So if I have a partner who is available, I don't feel like I could trust. So just kind of down a little rabbit hole. But so this is like stuff we can take a look at. And I think it's really powerful to really like understand your parents or your caregivers and what their childhood was like and what they were working with, so that you can kind of understand how they showed up for you. And maybe you're just like, nah, I'm not that interested. I don't like that stuff. I like to like live life in the present. And that's great too. You know, you don't have to like go deep all the time. So the next niyama is santosha, which means contentment. I think like gratitude or acceptance. So one way to practice that is by making a gratitude list. Has anyone ever done that before? So kind of like just making a list of like 5 things you're grateful for. So it's like, oh, today I'm really grateful for living in the mountains, for the fall weather, for my dog, for my friendships, for my health and safety, for my family. So just like kind of really paying attention to all the good things in your life. Like today I'm really grateful that I get to go to college, that I have an education. I have an advisor who's really looking out for me, that like I have a community of family here. So just really like pausing and being like, wow, there is a lot of bad in the world. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. But like, I think when you really look at what you have and like all the good, it's helpful to not kind of look out and be like, oh man, they have such a perfect life, or I wish this, or I wish that. So, yeah, like gratitude. You can make lists, you can write gratitude letters, like write letters to a friend and express them what you're grateful for, why, and how. So yeah, that's santosha, contentment. The next niyama is tapas, which means like fire, heat, discipline. These are the things we want, right? So sometimes we need a little like push, right? Like a little get up and go. Maybe we're like in a rut and we don't want to run, or for runners, we don't want to run, and just like creating that like little discipline, like, okay, every morning I'm just going to go for a walk. And if I feel like it, I'll start to run. And then maybe you build it up and you build it up and start running, and you're like back on track. Or like with your schoolwork, maybe you're just like, oh, I'm still not in the mood to do homework. Like, screw this class, blah, blah, blah. And you just need a little, yeah, like a little push, a little fire to get you moving in the right direction. So that is tapas. We already went over svadhyaya, self-study, and then the last niyama is ishvara pranidhana, which can be translated as surrender or devotion to our teachers, or like connection to a higher power. So like a release and surrender, and that can be kind of to our teachers, to all the people who came before us, our ancestors, our parents, all that. Or if you have a belief in a bigger system or a higher power, or like the collective, like source, energy, all of that. So it's kind of like using all of those yamas and niyamas, all that you can control, all your hard work, put it in, and then you just let it go. Like you surrender your effort. And that's kind of how it can go in school sometimes. Like say you had a huge paper, it's like worth half your grade. You spend hours and hours in editing and double checking, and you have someone peer review, and you're like, oh, I hope this paper is so good. It feels like the best writing I've ever done. And then you hand it in, and that's it. There's like nothing more to do, right? It's up to the teacher then to grade it. So that's where it's kind of like, you just kind of let it go. So you put in your best effort, and then you release and let go. So that's Ishvara Pranidhana. So the niyamas, like to conclude, is just how we take care of ourselves and conduct ourselves. So those are the first 2 limbs, the 8 limbs of yoga. The third is asana, the postures, and the fourth is pranayama, which is breath retention, so our breath. And we'll go over some more of those on Thursday, and some more kind of philosophy and yogic texts like the Yoga Sutras. And that's it. So let you go, you still have time. And I also want to encourage you all to create a meditation practice. So there's supposed to be 55 minutes left in our class period. So wherever you're going next, did anyone download the Insight Timer? Cool. So when you leave, take some time to do 5 to 10 to 20 minutes of meditation. So that could be like sitting quietly. Maybe you go outside in the sun or on an app, listen to something, and just take some time to really get quiet and still. And it's been shown and proven in so many studies that like people who meditate a lot, they're like certain parts of their brain are like thicker and stronger and healthier. Like when they age, their aging like is like they have the brain scans of like 20-year-olds when they're like 80-year-old monks, because they like meditate all day, and it's good for our brains, for our focus, for our concentration, to create more presence. So do a little meditation, write in your mindfulness journals, and I will see you on Thursday. Class dismissed. And let me know if you have any questions. You can always email me, or I'll stick around a little. Thanks, Jaylene. Thanks for being here.